Paris sleep researchers have determined the optimal way to nap. If you find yourself in a midday lull and you need to recharge, you're going to want to make sure it's done right. Christopher Lee is a professor of respirology at the University of Toronto and a physician at St. Michael's Hospital Sleep Laboratory, and he is joining me in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
This has to be one of my favorite subjects, napping. And we have to get rid of the shame. You say there's lots of benefits to napping.
Sure. Well, Marcia, this idea of the salutary effects of napping is actually not really a new one. There's a pretty significant body of research that was sort of done in the 1990s and the early 2000s that showed that napping does increase alertness and cognitive functions, which is not all that surprising because that's sort of what sleep is for.
And researchers say that it should be as rejuvenating as a cup of coffee?
So, yeah, there are some studies that show that the effects of a short nap are on alertness and cognition are quite similar to the effects of taking a cup of coffee. There's some studies showing that driving alertness, for example, at night is improved in a similar manner if one were to take a short nap as if one were to take half a cup of coffee.
Okay, we have a few tips about how to achieve that perfect nap. And one of them is find a safe space where you will not be interrupted, block out light. Noise apparently is not a problem, but light is, and aim to sleep no more than 20 minutes. Why is that 20-minute mark so important?
Well, the concept here is that of sleep inertia. So we've all sort of had this experience where we've got up for a nap and sort of felt kind of groggy from it. And this is the concept of sleep inertia, which occurs usually immediately upon waking, but seems to be worse when people are in sort of the deep stages of sleep that we sometimes refer to as slow wave sleep. In the first 20 minutes of a nap, you're relatively unlikely to go into deep or slow wave sleep. And so after that 20-minute period, though, the probability of you being in a deep sleep is higher, and the difficulty of awakening from that deep sleep is greater. And so if you're in the middle of your day and you take a longer nap, you awake from slow wave sleep, you're more likely to have trouble sort of getting your brain back in gear. It's sort of, it's not like there's a switch that sort of allows you to start to function again normally. So minimizing this period of sleep inertia, it can be done by keeping the naps nice and short.
Okay, now there are some researchers, these same researchers in Paris, who suggest that naps should be permitted by employers, that people should be able to go to a room or to a car and have a little 20-minute snooze, little doze. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the concept there is that you may be able to improve productivity amongst your workers if you do allow them to take a brief daytime nap, and I think there's some merit to that. I think the other question, though, that we need to ask is that, why are people so sleepy during the daytime? And I think that the other issue here is that many of us are not getting enough sleep at night, and so
right.
So maybe the need for that nap wouldn't be so great if we were sleeping a little bit more at night. But I think there's some merit to the idea that employers should be cognizant of this and accommodating to these needs.
All right, Christopher Lee, thanks so much. Appreciate it.